So, what about those atheist people who said that there is no God? Surprise! True and righteous are the judgments of our God. And what about those politically left-leaning progressive people who said that a man can get pregnant? Surprise! True and righteous are the judgments of our God. And what about those men who like to dress up in women's clothing and pretend that they are girls? Surprise! True and righteous are the judgments of our God. And what about those politicians and leaders whose policies are intended to destroy law and order? Surprise! True and righteous are the judgments of our God. And what about judges who rule by political persuasion instead of legal precedence and principle? Surprise! Yeah, you guessed it. True and righteous are the judgments of our God. What about leaders who sell their positions of influence for personal gain? Surprise! True and righteous are the judgments of our God. What about people who pervert the meaning of words to persuade others to their point of view? Surprise! True and righteous are the judgments of our God. What about those merchants who cheated their customers by using false scales, weights, and measures? Surprise! True and righteous are the judgments of our God. What about those pharmaceutical companies that withheld cures and instead sold potions and gave false hopes? Surprise! True and righteous are the judgments of our God. What about those people who put their trust in man instead of in God? Surprise! True and righteous are the judgments of our God. And what about those people who think they can live any way they want to, even though they know that the way they are living is contrary to God's ways, and they still try to justify their sins by saying, God is love and God is in my heart? Surprise! True and righteous are the judgments of our God. What about those Christians who pretend to love God, but their hearts are far away from Him? Surprise! True and righteous are the judgments of our God. Why do I think the tribulation is going to be a good thing? I used to be afraid of it. I did not want to be around when it happened. It used to terrify me. It still does. I am not saying that it will be a time of rainbows, unicorns, and Skittles, because it won't be. And I am not saying that it will be fun or easy or enjoyable or like a day in the park, because it will not be. However, if we can understand why the tribulation must happen, then we can be better prepared to not only survive, but thrive when it does come to pass. And remember, and this phrase, "and it came to pass," is used 453 times in the Bible. It can be understood as meaning, and it came to pass and not to stay. Let me say that again. It came to pass. It did not come to stay. The 7 years of tribulation will come to pass, not to stay. It will finally end. Why do I think the tribulation will be a good thing? I used to be afraid of it. I did not want to be around when it happened. It used to terrify me, and it still does. I am not saying it will be a time of rainbows, unicorns, and skittles, because it won't be. I am not saying it will be fun or easy or enjoyable or pleasant to watch. It will not be like a day in the park. It will not be. Bad times lead to great changes. Number one, that this is something that the Lord has decided is absolutely necessary in order to drive more people back to Him. 2, I realize that those who love the Lord and follow His ways are promised to be provided for and protected during the tribulation. 3, I realize that it seems that there has always been a need for a great reset throughout the history of mankind. We have always had to have do-overs. That's what salvation is all about. It's the great reset, the great do-over, where we are forgiven for our sins if we ask for His forgiveness. Number 4, I realize that the tribulation is included in the Holy Bible so that we may understand it and be prepared for it when it happens. Number 5, the Lord Himself has said that it is just. The angels in heaven are in agreement with it. The countless numbers of saints in heaven who have gone through it are in agreement with it. And there are many other scriptures that will confirm this action.